A pity Willem is not with us. Were he to see what lies before our eyes, caught a whiff of the burnt bodies.
Meave's ears caught the sound of a ruckus coming from the camp.
Thief! Inglet! A pox upon you all!
It was her quartermaster hurling oaths at the peasants she had freed from the Nilfgaardian slave convoy. A few had stolen supplies under the cover of darkness and escaped into the woods. Terror and dread gripped the other freed prisoners. Meave mulled over what to do with them, and Reynard, as always, offered some advice.
"'Tis high time they went off on their own, your grace. They are too great a hindrance. They slow our march, divert our soldiers from more important tasks. And now this."
Gascon was listening to their conversation. Meave shot him a questioning look.
I opposed taking them in. So, for consistency, I now oppose forcing them to leave. We made their miserable lives our responsibility, did we not? Well then, that is a burden we cannot simply shrug off.
Greu de ales aici. Îmi pare rău, trebuie să aleg o decizie grea.
Meave's eyes narrowed and the lines on her face sharpened. She turned to the peasants.
This is an army. We have no time for investigations and long trials. If one of my men steals, his entire regiment is punished. So it shall be with you. As you are unable to keep your kith and kin under check, you must leave. All of you. Today.
Once the peasants had packed their few belongings and separated from the column, the Lyrians marched off. They moved much more quickly, no longer having to adjust to the pace of the untrained, bedraggled refugees. But without the rustic singing and colourful farm-wife banter to accompany their steps, the march seemed strangely silent. Meave and her companions neared the Moulderwood, a dense, ancient forest of trees whose tangled branches had witnessed the conjunction of the spheres. It was not until King Vidamont's day that a road was finally carved through the primeval thicket, significantly shortening the journey from Rossburg to Aldersburg.
Even when peace reigns, danger rules this road.
Rayla said.
Now no one dares travel it.
At the edge of the wood, by the road, stood an enormous willow. Its branches swept down to cover its trunk, looking for all the world like long tresses shrouding a woman's face. Meave had an ill premonition. She did not like the sickly sweet aroma wafting from this tree, nor the metallic buzzing of insect wings. She sent a scout to investigate. He drew aside the drooping branches and stumbled back. There were men bound to the tree, covered in sap oozing from gashes in its trunk. Its heavy scent had attracted swarms of insects, flies, wasps, bees and beetles. They seethed over the bound men, crawling in and out of their ears and nostrils.
Eldane welcomes us to his wood,
Rayla whispered. Meave stepped towards the tree and saw the men stuck to it were all still alive. Those the elves had caught recently writhed and howled for rescue. Those hanging longer merely followed the queen with half-crazed, bloodshot eyes.
there all day!
Neve screamed to her dumbstruck Lyrians.
Free them! At once!
As soon as they had freed the first captive, before even a word of thanks could be uttered, a flaming streak soared through the air and stuck in the tree. The oozing resin burst into flames, engulfing the prisoners as well as the soldiers who had come to their aid. Elder speech battle cries rang out from the woods as elven warriors launched.
Keep your heads in the fight! They'll seek to blind us with shock and awe!
My spirit's willing and how, but these...
He missed.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Yorvik! Kill them! Kill them all!
Aye.
I shall not fail!
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
None shall tread on us!
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
Yeah.
The chase is on!
Dance of death! Ha! Ha!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
This is elven land, Dwan, upon which your kind dies.
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Have strength, my love.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
storm is coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
Hey?
Don't let them regroup! Finish off the wounded!
The battle done, Meve surveyed the carnage, her breath still ragged. The thick stench of blood, sap, and ash she sucked in made her stomach churn and head swoon.
The Scoia'tael. I'd heard of their cruelty, but...
The Queen said, sheathing her sword.
But never have I countenanced a thing like this.
Black Rayla, who had just extracted her blade from between an elven gorilla's ribs, smiled darkly.
Worst is yet to come, my lady.
The Queen regrouped her forces and marched into the Moulderwood. The Lyrians sang none of their usual marching songs. Instead, they walked in silence, eyes darting constantly to their flanks.
Hear that? Nightingales. Unmindful of war, they sing on.
Those are no birds, my lady. Just small cries to communicate. Tell the men...
Have we not passed this way before?
Scouts say no, Your Grace. They mark the trees.
Elves could have erased the marks, or left new ones where we've yet to tread. Best to follow the sun. Only way not to lose your bearings.
Meve was riding at the head of the caravan when Black Rayla rode up and leaned towards her. She spoke in a whisper, a hand shielding her mouth.
Your Grace, I've something important to tell you. Yet you can't show anything to miss. Look straight ahead. Make no sudden moves.
Meve nodded slightly and waited for her to continue.
Scoia'tael scouts in the woods, watching us. Eldain's near here somewhere, preparing his attack.
So what do you propose?
Asked the Queen, her gaze fixed on the road ahead.
Let him catch us out in the open. We're sitting ducks. But there are ruins nearby, an elven cemetery. We can find cover behind its walls.
Meve was accustomed to discussing important decisions with all her advisors, but she knew there was no time for consultation now. She had to trust Black Rayla's advice, and so without further delay issued the appropriate orders. Meve's dusk. Her soldiers knocked down the marble statuary and piled to watch for the foe's approach. When the sun set, the woods exhaled the heat of the day, and a thick fog soon arose. Out of the mist stepped Reynard's scouts, bound and pushed forward by elves. One of the Scoia'tael, a sturdy elf with long hair, stood by the cemetery wall and cried,
I am Eldain. I would speak to Meve.
I am she. Speak.
Cadmil en Kedvagenvid, Renna. This place is of great import to us, the Enshe. I would tell you of its monuments, of the weeping Ensevern, carved by 3 generations of sculptors, or of the alabaster relief of King Kelad, so beautiful even the birds would gather to admire it. But I see your men have found our memorials, and in the way of Dwan, destroyed them without a second thought. I cannot say this comes as a surprise. You've already shown the gods molded you from the basest of matter.
Get to the point, Eldain.
So I shall. As you certainly know, the necropolis is surrounded. Soon, there shall be a battle. But it is unseemly to fight in a cemetery. So I
surrender our tactical advantage.
I suspected a matter so impractical as respecting the dead would mean nothing to you, Dwan. So I submit one more argument. The lives of the soldiers you sent to spy. If you leave the cemetery, I shall set them free. They will fight at your side. If not, I shall kill them, here and now.
Milady, don't listen to him. He can't be trusted.
Rayla, those are good men. Fabian, Gerrit, Matthias, they've served me for a decade. They'd crawl through 7 hells for their queen. They do not deserve such a death.
I place a high value on my men's lives. Which is why I cannot risk my entire unit for a handful of soldiers.
Your Grace, please, consider.
I reject your offer, Elder.
As you wish, Renna.
In a swift, almost careless movement, Eldain slit the throat of the scout standing nearest to him, then gave the order to attack.
Careful, stay alert. They're cowards all, and sure to have laid traps.
Special prize, just for you, love.
The chase is on!
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Death to humans!
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
your grace, our soldiers. We could have spared them that death.
Peace with humans? I buy that! Onward, Fryhead!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Your folk were dead the moment they fell into Eldane's hands.
Jorveth will avenge us, Dwan!
Pays late. Again.
Should have listened to me, old lady.
Catch!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
I shall not fail!
I'm coming, I'm coming.
You die here, Dwan.
We got a job to do.
Your folk were dead the moment they fell into Eldane's hands.
Show me the coin or sod off.
After a long, bloody battle, Eldane's unit was destroyed, and Eldane himself sat at Reeve's feet, defeated and dying.
To die in a cemetery. Something amusing in it, wouldn't you say?
I am surprised you are in the mood for humor.
All my tears I shed years ago. My family killed in a massacre aimed at eradicating our race. Senseless. Utterly senseless. Reyna, we have lost. Me, my Scoia'tael, the Enshe. We shall vanish from this earth. Your grandchildren will know us in fairy tales only. Lay my bones to rest in a grave. Let me part this world with dignity.
Oh, please. How dare he? Look, he laughs, your great. Need I mention the willow? The many burned alive.
So be it. I shall lay you in a tomb.
Your Grace! How can you justify this?
As are you, Rayla. For centuries we fight. Kill one another. Shed blood for bloodshed. Attack and counterattack. Each act more cruel, and the cycle ends now. What was done I cannot undo. But I can do this. Grant a dying soul.
Thank you. Vathea, Rena.
Black Rayla stormed off, shoving her way through the gathered men. Neve paid her no heed. The soldiers laid Eldane's remains in an empty crypt. The rest of the Scoia'tael they buried in a pit near the edge of the woods. The next morning, at dawn's first light, the Lyrians marched off, eager to leave the Moulderwood behind.
At last. I'd begun to think this wood had no end.
And I thought bandits knew their way round a wood.
We do. Around those not brimming with elves armed to teeth.
take it anymore. Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Naturally. At once. Yes?
Her Majesty is exceptional. Discipline shall bring us victory!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
You can try to win them all, but you won't. I live to serve you. Without hesitation.
The burning fields and orchards spewed thick black smoke, turning day into darkest night. Riding in the middle of her caravan, Meve could see neither its head nor its rear. Reynard ordered the men to keep formation and march in silence.
Eyes open, fore and aft. The foe might well use these conditions to spring a trap.
When a scout's shrill horn cut through the silence, Meve immediately galloped to the front of the column. She found herself in a pile of red-hot coals that had once been peasants' huts.
What the devil happened here?
Bodies lay amid the ashes. barefoot men in nightshirts as if caught in their sleep. Meve deemed them yet more victims of the black-clad invaders. But Gascon had another interpretation.
Look at the arrows. Imperial issue? Not hardly. Nor are they the type the Scoia'tael favour. And the tracks in the mud, the attackers fought not in formation, but man to man. Bandits. It must have been.
Reynard, standing next to him, nodded in agreement.
Gascon can be relied on here. After all, he knows of what he speaks.
An uncomfortable silence fell over the group, ending only when Meve ordered the scouts to determine the direction of the bandits' tracks. They returned to report the killers were hiding somewhere to the north.
I'm going no further, and I'd advise you to do the same. Bandits took the fort to the north.
The ruins still smoulder. Nilfgaard passed not long afore. They must be close.
No doubt they already knock at Aldersburg's gate. We must make haste.
Brave warriors, fled so fast, didn't manage to pack. Beautiful sword.
Fishing in the mort? Oh, you're dead.
Armor won't save them. One bolt's all I need. Armor won't save them.
Fishing in the mort? Oh, you're dead.
marble is to your command. Give me a time.
Pissing in the moat? Oh, he's dead.
Niamh shook her head in disbelief as she surveyed the landscape before her. The Nilfgaardians had destroyed everything in their path. Burned farms, trampled fields, leveled orchards.
The bastards.
She hissed.
They mean to cause a famine.
When the Lyrians reached Braithwaite, a small village near Aldersburg, they saw gaunt men and women, more bone than flesh, gnawing on acorns and boot leather. The invaders had requisitioned every scrap of the village's food stores and hauled it off to their nearby camp. In strained voices, the villagers begged the Queen to help them retrieve their supplies.
Milady, Frost'll come before we know it. Fair't help us. Why not a soul will live to see the thaw?
Niamh looked around at the blackened, scorched village, at the walking skeletons who dwelled in it. The suffocating smoke bellowing up from the fields sent tears streaming down her face.
I'll do what I can,
was all she said. She knew this was not the time for a rousing speech. She needed to act. Niamh's mount reared and flattened its ears, spooked for no visible cause. Trusting in animal instinct, Meve jumped to the ground and felt tremors under her boots. At first, they were faint, barely palpable. Then grew stronger and stronger.
What's going on?
Meve cried.
Why does the earth tremble?
Before anyone could respond, a scout from the forward guard let out a terrified cry. A moment later, snap trees crashed down around them, and out of the woods came a 30-foot-tall stone giant.
Gods,
whispered the Queen.
What is that?
That I cannot verify, Your Grace,
Reynard said.
But it does indeed seem to fight on our foe's side.
As if to confirm his words, soldiers marched out from behind the giant, clad in heavy black plate. Their leader, however, wore but a light tunic, and his hands glowed with a strange blue light.
Dithen Quan and Lyrian!
He shouted, giving the order to attack.
Gloire and
This could hurt.
I live to serve. This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
The mage! Kill the mage!
bigger they are, easier they are to target. Thing about slings, they hide well.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Left, right, left, right.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Go, pop up!
Your Grace, it worked!
Well-swung blade.
Yeah!
Meve roared, delivering a powerful blow. Her blade severed the mage's aorta, and drowning in his own blood, he fell to the ground. He choked out by way of last words. Then the blue aura come. When the dust of the battle had settled, the Queen ordered her men to search the Nilfgaardian camp. In the mage's tent, they found a rare instrument used to communicate at a distance, a megascope. The crystals encrusted in its brass frame were still warm, meaning it had recently been used to conduct a conversation. The burning question was, with whom? There was one way to find out. Meve ordered the mage's assistant brought before her, and commanded him to activate the magic device. The prisoner wiped the sweat from his forehead and began twisting this, adjusting that, and fiddling with endless knobs. Finally, something clicked. A light flickered on, and before Meve's eyes appeared the outline of a Nilfgaardian general.
Speak common, please. I know not your tongue.
Oh. Forgive me, I thought I spoke to someone else. Good to see you in good health, Queen. Or ex-Queen, I suppose, would be the more apt title.
Instead of fretting so much over my title...
Of course. Where are my manners? Duke Adel Ebdahi, Grand Chancellor, Commander of Army Group East. I believe you've heard.
No. This is the first time I hear the name Adel. Adel what?
I see you've a poor mind for names. Perhaps you should ask your son. He knows me very well.
You whoreson.
What? Such a sad story. But don't worry, it will soon be over.
Is that a threat?
No. Enough of this. Why use this megascope? What is it you want?
I was simply curious. Wondered whom the mage had contacted.
Curious. How fascinating. You Northerners are so primitive. Like mindless magpies taking anything that shines back to their nest. Your thirst for knowledge now quenched, please allow me to see to my duty. Farewell, Your Majesty. Or rather, till next time. For there will be...
A quiet fell over the tent. The Queen stepped outside, squinted her eyes against the glare of the burning fields, and swore to herself that when she did see Grand Chancellor Ardal Ep Dahi again, he would be a whole head shorter.
New orders? No? Ah.
Your life is mine now. There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
Ours is not to reason why.
Aye.
Wise choice.
Should have listened to me old lady.
Order!
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Yes? Have it the white of an eye from half a league away. Excellent, Seifel!
Left, right, left, right.
Fien!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
In retreat!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting. A highly curious case.
Ennard Fane!
Egreto dum anime est, spes.
Coming across a small brook, Meve ordered her soldiers to replenish their water supplies. When they returned, it was with empty water skins and troubled expressions.
Milady, the water tastes of blood. Not like black pudding, mind, but rancid. filthy!
Meve had no choice but to march on. She gulped dryly and wondered how to interpret this strange event. An omen, perhaps? A warning from the gods? She soon learned the truth. Following the brook upstream, the Lyrians arrived at a small pool. Bobbing on its surface were dozens of corpses. A young woman caught Meve's gaze, her long hair spread delicately atop the water, wide-open eyes reflecting the sky, a fine nose peppered with freckles, and a gaping wound slashed across her throat.
We shall stop here,
the Queen said calmly,
and give these souls a proper burial. Reynard, send scouts. Tell them they are not to return until they ascertain what has happened here.
When the scouts returned a while later, they brought with them a barefooted peasant they'd found hiding in the woods. They claimed he hailed from Horton, a nearby village, the village whose inhabitants had been murdered.
Them black-clad wretches stormed the village, my lady. The devil free gave at the four. Rounded us right up, took us down to the lake. Whole village, mind. They'd chop, chop, and splosh, splosh. 'Twas I alone gave him the slip.
Meve listened to the man's tale, then placed him in the care of her medics and ordered the Lyrians to break camp. She rode at the head of their column, Reynard at her side, her knuckles gripped white on the reins.
Do we know where this Frigef is stationed?
Our riders report he's pitched camp to the east.
Then let's pay him a call.
They killed all. Like Rosberg. My lady, please. Make them pay.
The Lyrians had no trouble finding Vrigev's camp. It was the size of a sprawling town. Meve stopped her caravan and called for a council. The first to speak was Reynard.
Seems our scouts were both right and wrong, Your Grace. They did pinpoint General Threegef, the Butcher of Horton. Unfortunately, they underestimated his detachment. It is much larger and better armed than our own.
That changes nothing.
Meve said, forestalling all protest.
If I leave him unpunished, without so much as an attempt, I shall never be able to face my reflection again. We must attack.
Reynard bowed and passed the order to the Lyrians. Later that same day, Meve and Vrigev's force...
Come out, Threegef! It's time you pay for your crimes!
Aye.
You are dogs!
There! Frigga! I see him! We've got to catch him!
I smell a leak.
Ah!
Order! Hey? Your life is mine now.
Whoresons.
Wise choice.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth? I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
For Rivia!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Ah, should have listened to me old lady.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Should surrender afore long.
The Lyrians won the day, despite their foes' distinct advantage. Historians later ascribed Maeve's victory to her light troops' superior maneuverability in the difficult terrain compared to the plate-clad Nilfgaardians. But if you ask me, that wasn't it at all. A storm of fury had been quietly gathering in the Lyrians' hearts, a squall of rage stoked by the Nilfgaardians' unparalleled cruelty towards the conquered. And no one embodied this barbarism more perfectly than General Frigga. Maeve's men were ready to sacrifice anything to see him punished. They dragged the defeated general before Maeve. The Queen wished to learn why he'd ordered the execution of an entire village. How the Nilfgaardians could possibly justify such a crime.
2 weeks prior, I'd sent a detachment to Horton to procure feed. Captain Gaynor commanded it. While he was verifying their grain stores, they barricaded him in the barn and put it to flame.
The Queen listened to the general's story, her face a mask, betraying nothing.
Murdered. One man was murdered.
Frigga raised his eyes to Maeve's. The Queen was surprised to see them wet with tears.
Yes, my lady. My son.
The general's simple words bore pain, grief, and a thirst for revenge that would never be slaked. The Queen had to decide what to do with Frigga. No doubt the general had earned punishment, the harshest possible at that. Yet, such a weighty personage could fetch a hefty ransom, and Maeve's army desperately needed the gold. In the end, the Queen decided to return the general for a golden ransom. Whether she chose the path out of mercy, moved by the Nilfgaardians' tears, or out of pure material calculation, sensing an excellent chance to replenish her war chest? It is hard to say. One thing is certain. Her men were crestfallen at the news. They had challenged Frigga's greatly superior forces in the name of justice.
Milka, Bezrad, Kristan, all killed, souls snuffed out to the very last. Could have run for help, I know. But I was afeard. Afeard the Blackclads had catch wind of me, hear me. What now? Whatever will I do? Alone? Left all alone? Milady, buried our valuables for the Blackclads came. In the wood, near a big boulder. Got a bit of charcoal? I can sketch the way for you. What now? Whatever will I do? Alone? Left all alone? What now? Whatever will I do? Alone? Left all alone?
The Lyrians stood within 5 miles of Aldersburg, when the road, which until now they had travelled alone, suddenly filled with all manner of folk. Peasants, merchants, and wounded fighters in tattered uniforms. They trod solemnly in the opposite direction, their worldly possessions on their backs.
Aldersburg's fallen, milady,
sighed one of the refugees with a forlorn shrug.
out of walls reach. The king still defends the old town, but
black-clad goats are winning. You'd best turn back before it's too late.
We've nowhere to turn to, good man.
The Queen said. Then the Queen galloped so fast the wind squeezed tears from her eyes, the Lyrian cavalry close at her heels. Hoofbeats thundered down the high road, and the crowd of refugees parted, making a path for the charging riders.
Faster! Faster!
Soon they set eye on Aldersburg. A red glow filled the horizon. The wind carried screams and the clanking of steel. The once proud city was quickly turning to dust in the Nilfgaard. The Nilfgaardian force moved to block the Lyrians' way. Without slowing, Meve cut down the infantryman who tried to drag her from her saddle with a hook. Her head in a winged helmet fell to the ground, leaving a bloody track.
Lyrians! Attack!
Meve shouted.
Take no prisoners! Bloody hell! You shan't stop me. Not now!
Eilherzer!
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
In retreat!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Wise choice.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Order!
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, to die.
My boots got sand aplenty in them.
Go on, Enkazer!
You mad? Don't shake that!
No time for that!
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Alba!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Gloire!
This could hurt.
To me, ni gloire!
Left, right, left, right.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Discipline. That is what you folk lack. Territoire.
Your Grace, all that was but their rear guard.
The Lyrians managed to scatter the Nilfgaardian battalion, one of many besieging Aldersburg. Their scouts brought before the Queen a prisoner freed from the invaders. Niamh inquired about the situation in the city.
Turn the right slaughterhouse it out. The Imperials, they... King had the city cleared, my lady, but didn't budge himself. Holding out with his guard in Old Town, walls still standing there. Said he'd fight...
Niamh weighed her options. The situation looked dire. Demavend, to whom she had come for help, needed help himself. Nilfgaard enjoyed an overwhelming advantage. The small Lyrian detachment stood no chance of breaking the siege. But to retreat, surrender, that was not something Niamh did.
The Nilfgaardians do not expect a relief force. Rayla, you know Aldersburg. Can you lead us by side streets to the Old Town?
The warrior nodded, and without waiting for any further orders, strode out in front of the party. Reynard followed her with his gaze, clearly troubled.
And what then, Your Majesty? We burst into the lion's den and...
And we pray the lion chokes. Follow me!
The walls, crushed and breached. The